Good evening, baseball fans. Welcome to tonight's Q&A, where we talk about anything going on in the baseball world, whether it's free agency, trades, the lockout, the Hall of Fame, whatever you want. What's going on, everyone? How are we doing? Hello. You know, I haven't worn this hat in God knows how long. I think probably I don't know, months. I found this hat today, and I was like, oh my God, I forgot I even had this hat. This is the 2018 Red Sox World Series hat. So I've always loved this hat, and the fact that I found it, I've been wearing the beanie a lot lately. It's quite warm. It's quite comfy. It makes my head feel nice. But you know what? Hey, I gotta get back to wearing the backwards hats a little bit. I love these hats. But anyway, enough of me rambling. What's going on, everyone? Hey, just doing a Q&A tonight. Nothing special. There's nothing going on. I do have a video that I will be posting here either tonight or tomorrow morning, so be on the lookout for that. It's not going to be a long video by any means, but just touching up on something that I wanted to talk about. So, alrighty, but hey, Q&A, you know the rules. I mean, basically, there are no rules, really. Just be respectful. I guess that's it, really. But yeah, ask me anything you would like. Any questions so far in this chat? I've seen 35 people so far here. What's going on? Kyle Winter, we'll start with you, my friend. We'll start with you. Do you think Kevin Kiermaier gets traded? And if yes, where? Well, we might as well just start fresh. Let's go there. Mr. Kevin Kiermaier, let's pull up some numbers here. And, you know, I figured I can get some music on, too. Why not? I didn't play the music the last time. And, you know, it made me a little sad. I always forget, or I hate when I forget to put the music on. But let's get the tunes on, shall we? Here we go. Let's put this on. Alrighty, here we go. Kevin Kiermaier. Let's take a look here. Alrighty, so I do think Kevin Kiermaier, a very good chance, if I were to do like a percent chance on Kevin Kiermaier getting traded, I don't know, for me personally, I would think, I don't know, 80%. I mean, I still think there's that 20% chance that if, you know, maybe the Rays want to hang on to him. The one thing I think the Rays like about Kevin Kiermaier, yes, I know we all look at the money, we all look at the salary, but at the end of the day, Kevin Kiermaier, he's a cornerstone of that franchise. Maybe the Rays want to keep him around for that veteran leadership. You know, he's a hard-nosed player. Hey, you know, sometimes organizations, they like to keep those guys around. You know, he's a fan favorite, so maybe he ends up staying with Tampa. But when you look at the money and everything, you know, it doesn't really, I don't know, the way Tampa is, it doesn't really seem to make a whole ton of sense keeping him on. When you take a look, he's averaging $8.9 million per year. He's going to be making $12.1 million this coming year. They have a club option for 2023, so maybe a team would be enamored with that. The fact that they're, you know, going to be bringing this guy in. And did the music come on? I don't think I put the music on. Hold on one second here. Let's get this music on. Sharing the screen. Yes, it is on. Okay, here we go. Let's come back to you guys here. Let's share the screen. Okay. But yeah, Kevin Kiermaier, I'm definitely thinking, if I were to make a guess, I would probably say, yeah, I definitely think there are teams out there that could use a center fielder. But do they, you got to also wonder about this. Would teams really want Kevin Kiermaier? I mean, when you look at the numbers, I mean, yeah, he's going to give you some good defense. That's the one thing with Kevin Kiermaier. He's going to give you some nice defense, and you can rely on him out there, especially in a tough position like center field. It's a premium position. So I just wonder, would teams really like the bat very much? You know, only hit 259 last year, a 328 on base, a 388 slugging. I mean, that's not really getting much done. At this point, the way I see Kevin Kiermaier is, I look at him like a fourth outfielder pretty much. You know, a right-handed bat. He can come off the bench, or a left-handed bat, sorry. But, you know, he's not really going to do much for you with the bat. I mean, if we go back the last couple of years, he just hasn't really done anything. I mean, if you go back to 2017, he had a career-high batting average of 276. He was pretty decent that year, but his best season came in 2015. But I mean, that's just such a long ways away now. I But even then, the on base of 298 really wasn't that great. 2017 was a good year. The reason his WAR on Fangraphs was so high that year because he had an incredible defensive score, 20.6. But his best offensive season came in 2017. But he hasn't really done anything since then. He had 14 home runs in 2019. So at this point, you're really looking for his bat. I wonder, okay, let's pull up baseball trade values. I mean, if we're looking at some teams here, one nice little thing here, if you ever need like a quick reference, if you go to Fangraphs, if you go to teams, you can go down to the bottom where it says positional depth charts, and you can look at the current projected rankings for each position. So if you go take a look here, the Rays for center field, where are they? They're right here. So they're pretty much smack dab in the middle when it comes to center field, 14th. So they're projecting Kiermaier not really to do all that much, So, I mean, I don't know. If you're looking at some teams, maybe that could use some defensive improvement when it comes to center field or just outfield in general. Let's go to the team stats. I'll go to outfield defense. Which team was the worst outfield defensively? Seattle. Seattle, where they really struggled with their outfield defense last year. They could definitely use maybe a boost there. Would he be a starter? I don't know. I mean, the one thing with the Mariners is they got, kind of it feels like they're starting to get a bit of a log jam in there. You do got Jake Fraley, where, he had his moments last year. He was injured, and then he came back, and he was actually hitting pretty well, but then he got COVID, and then he came back, and he just wasn't really doing all that well. So I wonder if Seattle maybe wants to make maybe an improvement with Jake Fraley, but offensively, you're not really improving with a Kevin Kiermaier. If we keep going up the list, I don't know, maybe Detroit would want, a veteran guy like a Kevin Kiermaier. Maybe they would think he would fit well. The Yankees could definitely use an improvement with center field defense. There's no questioning that. Philadelphia seems to make the most sense, when it comes to, I'm sure they're looking at other options because obviously with Kiermaier, you're not really getting much of a bat. So I'm thinking probably Philly, they're looking to do something more offensively with that position, but I could see Philly maybe being a bit of a fallback at that point, because at least with Kiermaier, you're getting the glove. So I would probably say yes to trading Kiermaier, but I wouldn't be surprised at all if he ended up staying with the Rays, just because, what he brings to the organization. He's a fan favorite. He sells jerseys. He sells T-shirts. People love Kevin Kiermaier, or at least, the Rays fans that go to the games. I know there are a few loyal Rays fans that follow this channel, but, I would say, honestly, Kiermaier, I wouldn't be surprised if he stays because people love him in Tampa. So, but let's get to another question here. And yes, THP Knob. Yeah, that's what I was saying. I don't know if Kiermaier would really be able to fit in Seattle all that much. They got so many outfielders as it is, and you got some young guys coming up as well. So I think that's why I think someone like Chris Bryant would be really good for the Mariners, because he can move around, he can play in the infield, he can play some outfield too. So, Jarvis Henley, when do you think the lockout will be over? I mean, is there any news on this lockout? What is going on? Do we have anything lately? Any news? I mean, it doesn't really seem like there's anything breaking or anything like that. I mean, anything on the Twitters? What do we got on the Twitters, huh? If we go to hashtag MLB Lockout, we got anything going? I mean, I'm guessing probably not all that much. So, I don't know. I don't think there's really anything going on as of right now. If I were to make a bit of a prediction when it comes to the lockout, I think they get it done by the end of February. I think it gets done. I think they push back spring training, a couple weeks. I could see that, and if anything, they got to push back the start of the regular season. Maybe they'll do that. I think it would be silly at this point to lose games. I just don't see really anything. I don't know. Of course, yes, you'd rather get a CBA done for the next 10 years, but at the same time, you don't want to be losing games, especially when your game is making a good amount of revenue year to year to year. It's increasing. Is this the time is this the time where you want to sacrifice games? It's just going to fans, hey, people check out, with the NBA. I don't even know what the heck's going on in basketball. When they were doing all that political stuff, I'm not into all that, but when the NBA was doing all that, I checked out. Like, I was just over it. I didn't even realize, like, my Celtics, not doing all that great. I didn't even know they made they made a trade, last week for Bobo or whatever, that massive, like, 7 foot tall guy. I think he was on the Nuggets. But, stuff like that. I feel like eventually I'll get back into following basketball, but that really pushed me away from the game. And trust me, I was following my Celtics year to year. And, every single year, whenever the trade deadline came up, they never made a trade. And I was looking at all the rumors all the time, seeing what the Celtics were going to do. And I just never got back into it after all that. I just couldn't, That's just me personally. I'm not saying, for everyone. I have a good friend who's still a huge basketball fan. I got a friend who, he's really big into fantasy basketball. Sorry, I know this is a baseball channel, but I'm basically just saying, to me, I think if Major League Baseball, if they lose games, especially with what happened with the COVID season, losing games in that way, and I think you're going to see some people check out. I wouldn't be surprised about that. So, but back to the question, I definitely think by the end of February. I think by the end of February. And there was actually a report. I forget who it was. Who was it? Let me go back on here. I actually got tagged in something. Let me go find it really quick. What was it again? It was someone, I think his name was like Anthony or something. I don't know. I can't remember his name, but I got tagged in this post. Who was it? No, wait, hold on. 1 second, everyone. Alex Contreras. Alex Contreras. Alex Contreras. Twitter. He actually put this yesterday. He's the Marlins Barbecue co-host. I'm not sure where he heard this news, but where is it? That was January 26th. Did he delete it? Oh, no, it's right here. Good God, he pinned it. I went right by it. But he did put yesterday. I'm not sure how reliable this is, but source from the Yankees clubhouse tells me new deal is as good as done between players union and owners. Attorneys stretching it as long as possible to see more money. I mean, hey, the world revolves around money. This is a business. And to be honest with you, of course they're going to hold out. I don't think they hold out to the point where you lose games. I don't think that's going to happen. But I think, hey, they're okay with whatever, nothing happening over the next couple of weeks. They're probably okay with nothing happening over the next month. But I think when you start to get to that point where pitchers and catchers are supposed to be reporting, that I think is when people are going to start getting a little, okay, we got to get something done here. What is going on behind me? Oh, I got my laundry behind me. I was wondering what the heck is on my chair. I thought there was a cat or something on my chair. I don't even have a cat. Jesus, what is going on here? I'm a mess tonight. Yeah, I think Major League Baseball, I'm kind of rambling about this. I'm going to say by the end of February. Hopefully sooner than that. Hopefully mid-February. Hopefully next week. That would be fantastic. Can we get something done next week? Let's get to another question here. What are we doing? Nicholas, Aaron Rodgers to the Saints. I mean, I wonder what it's going to cost to get Aaron Rodgers, You know who I think? I don't know if they can even get a deal done. I'm not sure. I mean, I'm pretty I feel like I'm okay when it comes to the baseball trades, but when it comes to football trades, I got nothing. I don't know what is worth what. I got no idea. But you know what team could really use Aaron Rodgers? The Tennessee Titans. I mean, look at what Ryan Tannehill did in the playoffs, this past weekend. He stunk up the place. He's been horrible in a couple of games, in the playoffs for the Titans. If the Titans could somehow get Aaron Rodgers, oh my goodness. Can you play? Like, that would be awesome. I mean, they got, weapons. Julio Jones. I mean, Aaron Rodgers on the Titans, I think would be amazing. I don't know if the Titans can get a deal done, but I don't know. Simply Fog. Who is going to pick up Jake Arrieta? The Portland Pickles? I don't know. Who the heck is going to pick up Jake Arrieta? I don't know. Could he go back to Baltimore? I have no idea. Jake Arrieta, the last time we saw him, I think he was getting just blown up on the Padres. I have no idea. I mean, poor Jake Arrieta. I really enjoyed watching him pitch a few years ago. And, oh my God, the decline of Jake Arrieta. What the heck happened? I don't know. Hawks Eye View. Who do you think could be the comeback player of the year? Mike Trout? Does Mike Trout count? I mean, this guy missed basically a whole season. Is that fair to have Mike Trout? I don't know. Do you think the Yankees will make a big free agent move? Yeah, Sports with AJ, I think they're going to do something. I think they didn't do anything before the lockout. A lot of the bigger teams, they like to kind of... I don't want to say all the bigger teams, but, teams like the Yankees, teams like the Red Sox, they like to kind of sit back and they like to kind of watch the market unfold and see what they can get. I think the Yankees are kind of taking that approach. I think, don't rush, don't jump at anyone, but kind of wait for everything to kind of unfold a little bit. And maybe something falls into your lap, maybe, I don't know if this is even going to happen, but someone like Carlos Correa, if his market doesn't develop, and if you're the Yankees and you feel like you can get Carlos Correa for pretty cheap, and then, maybe that's a bit of a birthday gift. I think the Yankees are kind of taking that approach. See if if asking prices, especially with the Yankees, they like to win deals as much as they can. These Yankees, they like to hardball. So I think with the Yankees, they're going to see if some of these asking prices come down. So, JM, a 1999 super chat. It hasn't popped up yet, but I see it. There it is. JM, thank you so much, my friend. 1999 super chat, $20. JM, you are fantastic, my friend. JM, ask me something in the chat, my friend. Hey, throw a question out at me, man. I will say that as well. If I got a potato brain here, and this is not a money grab, but if you have a question and I will see it with a super chat. I'll do my best to, look at them in the chat. But if you want me to see it and have it guaranteed that I see it, do a super chat. I promise you I'll see it. So, but JM, thank you so much. If you have a question, please ask it in the chat. Here we go, JM, I see you. Which MLB team would you like to manage in Out of the Park Baseball 23? I would say the Marlins. With that pitching. I'm a sucker for a pitching staff. A young pitching staff like the Marlins. And you got some pretty talented offensive players in there as well. Honestly, I think a challenging one would be the Rockies. I would like to do the Rockies. I think that would be pretty fun. Of course, I would like to do my Red Sox just because, hey, that's my team. I would like to, see if I can guide, if I can be Mr., I can be Heim Bloom. I can be Robbie Bloom, see if maybe I can guide the Red Sox to a few championships. So definitely. I got to do some more Out of the Park baseball stuff here. I did the 1994 season. I would like to actually plug in some players. One idea that I have, I might try and do this weekend, is put David Ortiz back on the Twins and see how I've already done a video on that. So I was wondering if I should do that or not, but whatever. Out of the Park baseball. Hey, could use some content. Put David Ortiz back on the Twins and see what his career would have looked like. So, or put Alex Rodriguez on the Red Sox. I would love to do something like that. So that's the one thing about Out of the Park baseball that's really cool is you can kind of replay those scenarios and you can do those what ifs, So What else we got here in the chat? What else we got? Jarvis, what's going on? Do the Yankees have a better chance at getting Freeman than Correa? I think so, because I think they would much rather have a first baseman. You can go get a stopgap guy. Honestly, you have Oswald Peraza. You know, why is there no talk of Oswald Peraza being an option for shortstop for the Yankees? The guy's done great. Why not? Peraza has a good glove. See if he can win the job out of spring training. I don't see why that would be a problem. Oh, my iPad just died. Oh, hold on. I got to get my charger. But yeah, that's personally, I would say that. I mean, if you're the Yankees, why not give Peraza a chance to win the job? You know, and then just go after Freeman. You know, if Freeman, I think Freeman is definitely going to cost less than Carlos Correa. I mean, I think by a mile, unless Correa does some kind of like a one-year deal or something like that. Which, if it comes to that, I wonder if the Yankees would do something like that. Here we go. Got to plug in the iPad here. Sorry about that, everyone. Oh my goodness, I actually just forgot. I got myself a beverage. And it's my favorite. You know, hey, some good old ginger ale, Canada Dry. Hey, 0 sugar, 0 calories. Gotta watch those calories, everyone. Ginger ale, I'm telling you, something about ginger ale. I'm like an old man, you know, and just, I don't know, a good old sip of ginger ale, it just makes me a happy man. What can I say? What else we got here? Let's take a look. Let me pull the chat back up here. Sorry about that, everyone. What do we got here? What do we got? Alrighty. So let's see here. Let's see. But yeah, I would say for the Yankees, Freddie Freeman makes a lot of sense. Freddie Freeman makes a lot of sense. Let's pull that up here. Okay. What else we got? What if the Mariners didn't trade David Ortiz? Could you imagine? You know? I mean, when did Edgar Martinez retire? What was it, like 2000? Yeah, like early 2004. So, you know, he actually played 141 games in 2004. He actually didn't do too bad. His slugging was really down. His on base was okay. But could you imagine if David Ortiz, you know, took over at that? I mean, that's when David Ortiz, that's right around the time when he came up. He wouldn't have had that. He wouldn't have had his chance in 2003 with the Mariners, because Edgar Martinez had a good season that year. But if David Ortiz had, you know, maybe waited another year, you know, if the Mariners kept him around, you know, put him at first or whatever, could you have seen him end up taking off as the next designated hitter with the Mariners? So, you know, that's a pretty cool what-if scenario as well. Remy V1, Robbie, talk Cardinals for a second. I want to hear your opinion. Hey, I'm really liking what the Cardinals have got going. I really do. I actually, if I were to really, you know, do like an early pick right now for like a, you know, a favorite in the, you know, to maybe even go on to win the whole thing next year, I like what the Cardinals got. I really do. I like this lineup. I really do. You know, and Dylan Carlson, if he can take a step forward, that's only going to help. I don't think they need to go after a shortstop. And if they have the universal... Oh, look at Fangraphs. Huh. Look at this. Fangraphs has already put in the designated hitter. They've already done it. They're just going with it. Wow. They are just going with it. It has not been announced, but Fangraphs, they are of the belief that they are convinced that they're going to have a universal DH. Look at that. I mean, it's pretty much going to happen. It seems like from all reports that the universal DH is going to happen. But I really do like the Cardinals. I think they're just a well-balanced team. You know, they need Jack Flaherty to really take a step forward. I don't think you're going to, I don't know. I wonder if you're going to get the same kind of season out of Adam Wainwright. I don't know about that. He really pitched his hiney off last year. This guy was good. But they need Flaherty to turn into that 30-start, 200-inning guy, you know, top 5 Cy Young. They need Flaherty to become that. You're going to be getting Michaelis, you know, for a full season. Hopefully he's good to go. Dakota Hudson will be back. And then you can sign Steven Matz. And I think with that defense behind him, I think that's going to be a really nice fit. I really like the rotation. I like the bullpen. You know, if they could add another arm or two, I think they're pretty good. I really like the Cardinals. I do. I think they ran into a Dodgers team that was just a bit better, you know, but if they got by that Dodgers team, I wonder if it would have been a different series with the Giants. Oh, Amandeep Singh with a $2.79 Canadian super chat. AL East predictions at the moment and after the lockout. I would say at the moment, like right now, if the season started right now, if you want to kind of have some fun with it, I would say right now, I'd probably say Blue Jays win it. I like the Blue Jays. I do. Even though they lost Marcus Semien, I love the Kevin Gausman pickup. I would lean Blue Jays right now for that East Division. I would say Rays, Yankees, Red Sox, they're fighting it out for a wild card. You know, I wonder how the Rays are this coming year. I still think they're going to be good, but I wonder, are they going to be 100 wins, you know, good? You know, I wonder. I think the Yankees, the Red Sox, I think the Yankees are still going to be there. They're always there. The Red Sox, hey, they really exceeded expectations. You know, I wonder with the Red Sox, I think they're still going to be right there in contention for a wild card. And, you know, hey, they got a lot of guys on this Red Sox team. They could make a run for the division, absolutely. But if I were to pick a division winner for the AL East right now, I would probably say the Blue Jays. I really like the Blue Jays. If I were to make an early World Series prediction right now, I'd say Blue Jays Cardinals. I think that's fun. I think that is a prediction that doesn't really sound completely ridiculous. I think that could happen. I think this is a Blue Jays team. They just missed the playoffs last year. These guys are out of their minds offensively. They've added some starting pitching. They do need to get that bullpen going. They needed a couple of guys for that bullpen. I think someone like Kenley Jansen would be really nice. You know, a veteran guy for that bullpen. You know, go get a couple, maybe someone like Ryan Tepera as well. I think that would be really good. I think the Blue Jays and the Cardinals, they are right there. And I think they could be pretty scary. So, THP Knob, I could see Joe Kelly signing with St. Louis. I think that would be a great. I think or maybe even the Blue Jays. Could Joe Kelly go with the Blue Jays? I think that'd be a nice fit. What else we got here? Yeah, Simply Fog. I agree. Barrios is a guy you had to lock up. Getting him, if you got him and you didn't sign him, that would have just been ridiculous. What else we got? What other questions we got here? Let's see the questions, people. It's a Q&A. We need questions. Noah Lehman, trivia question. Name the first player to lead both the NL and AL in hits. Huh. I mean, it wasn't Ichiro, right? I mean, did Ichiro lead when he was on the... I don't think he led when he was on the Marlins, right? I don't think that... No. Led in hits. I feel like it's someone that was solid, but like a I don't know, not like a great player. I don't know. AL and NL in hits. Not Pete Rose, because Pete Rose was with the Reds, and then he was with the Phillies too. So no, he was I don't know. Pete Rose wasn't in the American League. Huh. Who is that? First player to lead the NL and AL in hits. That's an interesting one. I don't know. I feel like it's going to be like an oddball kind of an answer. Who was that? That was... Wait, crap. I just lost it. Where did it go? Oh, Noah Lehman. Who is it? No, are you still here? Who was this? Was it a guy back in the day? Like I see you, Dulcie Maris, Frank Robinson. Oh, maybe. Maybe Frank Robinson. Absolutely. Frank Robinson, definitely. I think that makes a lot of sense. JM, you're saying Bill Madlock? I don't know. Huh. Let's Google it. First MLB player to lead AL and NL in hits. Who is it? Lance Johnson. 1988, 1995. Johnson is the only player in history of Major League Baseball to lead the American League and the National League. That's what I'm saying. Like, I don't know. It's like probably some guy that is like, it was like a solid player. Lance Johnson. Who the heck is Lance Johnson? Wow. Hey, whatever. I didn't watch baseball at that time. I was a wee lad. I think I was still living in England at that time. Oh, he retired in 2000. Oh, look at Lance. That's what I'm saying. It sounded like he was like a solid player. He's got a 30 WAR. Hit 291 for his career. Look at this. Huh. I've never heard of Lance Johnson before. So yeah, he led back-to-back seasons. 1995 with the White Sox, 186 hits. And then with the Mets, 227. Mets fans, do you remember Lance Johnson? He was the only time he was an all-star was with the Mets. Had a really good year that year. Hit 333, 362 on base, 479 slugging. He had 21 triples. Only had 9 home runs, but wow, wow. Could you imagine Lance Johnson in today's game? Like, he would be, I think he'd be a really solid player. He finished 18th in MVP voting that year. That, to me, if you put up those kind of numbers today, I think you're top 10 easily. So, I saw another question up here. Thank you for that trivia question. It's always nice learning some history. I will say, I'm not good at trivia questions. I'm a very visual person. Like, I need to, like, see something to know, to remember it. I'm very visual. So like if I did like one of those quiz videos that Draftnik Mark does, I would do terrible. I just can't do it. So I saw another question here. Oh, I see a super chat. I'm sorry. Amandeep Singh, 3 dark horse Cy Young candidates. I would say, again, I'm a visual person. I need to pull up names. Dark horse Cy Young candidates. Let's pull up here. Let's go to the Steamer projections. Again, I'm a visual person. Gotta see the names. I wonder if Dylan Cease could be someone. Could you imagine? He had some pretty decent numbers last year. I wonder if Dylan Cease could be a guy that really steps up for the White Sox. I don't know. I wonder how John Means will do with the Orioles pushing back their outfield walls. I wonder if John Means could take advantage of that. He's a fly ball guy. I wonder if that ends up working out for him. Ends up getting some better numbers. I would say Dylan Cease. Maybe John Means. Is Logan Webb, do you count him as a dark horse? I feel like Logan Webb doesn't get any love. I don't know why. I was hearing Draftnik Mark and that guy on Twitter that has like the nice pictures of his rankings and stuff, but I don't know what the heck this guy is talking about sometimes. He was saying like Logan Webb, like he wasn't very high on him, and I'm like, did no one just see what this guy did in the playoffs? He was completely dominating an offensive juggernaut with the Dodgers. I'm like, what the heck are you talking about? I think Logan Webb, why not Logan Webb? I think he could definitely be a sleeper when it comes to, he's projected to do pretty well in terms of WAR, 3.4. But again, these are pretty low because like a lot of these guys, they'll definitely put up higher WARs. Like DeGrom, if he's on a full season, this guy has a WAR like near 8 or like 9 even. Lucas Giolito was my pick for Cy Young last year. He didn't take that big step forward like I thought he would. Could he still be a guy? Possibly. I wonder if maybe Jose Barrios. He really did well with the Blue Jays last year. I wonder if he maybe can find that extra gear. If I were to take a look at a couple other guys. I could see someone like Pablo Lopez. He had some injuries this past year, but Pablo Lopez, he can deal, man. He can deal. Could Michael Kopech? If Michael Kopech ends up being a full-time starter, could he blossom into just like this disgusting ace in your staff? Maybe. I wonder with Shane McClanahan, I don't know. I think he's really solid. I don't think he's Cy Young, at least yet. Trevor Rogers. Could Trevor Rogers take that big step forward? He was really good. Zach Gallen. I think Zach Gallen is a guy that could really take a step forward. I mean, I'm waiting for him to bust out. Max Fried. You got Max Fried. Oh, Super Chat. Oh, William Fulgham, Max Fried, NL Cy Young. Hey, what do you know? I think it's just a matter of, are they going to up their game? Sleepers they're hard to really project. Like, you can look at numbers from last year. You can look at advanced numbers, but it's really the work that they do in the off season. Do they add another pitch? Do they improve a slider? Do they add a little bit more velocity? Do they do something different with their mechanics where maybe they can hide the ball a little bit better, where guys aren't picking up on the ball as much? I think that is, the offseason is really underrated. When we think of the offseason, we're thinking of all the free agent signings. We're thinking of all the trades. But we're not really paying attention to what these guys are doing, in the weight room, doing bullpen sessions or whatever it is. Like, are they doing anything? I think that is a big key. And it's not just and not just the offseason, but in spring training. Do they, could they do something different when it comes to spring training? I'm seeing a couple other people in the chat chiming in. Sandy Alcantara. Sure. I think Alcantara, to me, I don't think I see him as like a Cy Young kind of a guy. I look at Alcantara as like this workhorse kind of a guy where he's always going to be a bit underappreciated. That's how I see Alcantara personally. But could he take that step forward? Absolutely. Simply Fog, Alek Manoah, he really busted out. I'm really wondering with Alek Manoah, how are teams, they can see what he can do now. They have his scouting report. They know what he's doing. Could he go through a bit of a sophomore slump? I think it's going to be up to him. Is he going to make those adjustments? Guys are going to adjust to him. Is he going to make those adjustments? We'll have to wait and see. Taking a look. What else we got? Anthony Fala. Michael Kopech. Absolutely. Michael Kopech, he has a ceiling like no other. Can he stay healthy? Can he stay on the field? So, Simply Fog. I agree. Logan Webb in the playoffs, he was disgusting. Why? To me, if I were to go with the Cy Young winner right now, maybe I'm going a little crazy, maybe a little too soon. But Logan Webb, to me, what I saw in that postseason, unbelievable. He was just awesome. Hadn't seen a Giants picture like that. At least a San Francisco Giants picture that entertained me as much since Tim Lincecum. I loved watching Tim Lincecum. He was so fun to watch. Obviously, he had the funky windup, but his stuff was just nasty. Logan Webb, not as much with the velocity, but the stuff, the changeup. Oh my God, Tim Lincecum and just oh my God, Tim Lincecum. Like I'm thinking back to his changeups, and I'm wondering if him or Logan Webb who has the better changeup? Man, I don't know. Giants fans, yes, Mad Bum, yes, Brian, I yes, definitely Madison Bumgarner, absolutely. From an entertainment, like for me personally, Madison Bumgarner was awesome. I'm definitely not forgetting about him, but when simply being entertained, Tim Lincecum to me was so fun to watch. He was like Pedro kind of level, if that makes sense. Like, I couldn't miss a start. Madison Bumgarner, yeah, cool. It would be cool if I got to see him pitch on TV. But Tim Lincecum, I always wanted to see what he did. I always wanted to see what his stat line was. I always wanted to watch his highlights. Nothing wrong with, obviously, Madison Bumgarner was obviously solid and amazing in the postseason. But Lincecum, I couldn't not watch that guy. There was just something about him. And Logan Webb gives me those kind of vibes. Logan Webb, I think maybe he dials it back a little bit with the velocity, but he's fun to watch, man. He was really fun in this postseason. Brett B, dark horse teams in the American League. Man, I think these teams, they're just getting better. You know, if I'm looking in the American League, I think the formerly known Cleveland Indians, now known as the Cleveland Guardians, I think they could be a pretty pesky team this year. I would look out for them. Do you call the Tigers a sleeper at this point? I think they can be right there for wild card contention. I think the Twins. I think the Twins. I'm going to look for a bit of a bounce back, but they need some guys. You know, they need some guys in that rotation. They need some help there. I would say, honestly, if I were to pick one big sleeper, I would watch out for the Twins. Honestly, I think they're a team that can kind of come out of nowhere a little bit. They still got a lot of talent on that team. Can they get enough pitching? I don't know. We'll have to wait and see. What else we got? Brian, what happened with the labor talks this week? Are we going to have a spring training? A season? Yes, I think we're going to have a season. Yes, we're going to have some kind of spring training. So basically with the talks, you know, the Players Association, they dropped their demands for free agency to go from 6 years until you get to free agency to 5 years. So that was a big demand of theirs. They wanted their players to get to free agency sooner. So the fact that they dropped something like that, that's big. In Major League Baseball, they're willing to work on a couple of things as well. With Major League Baseball, what was the thing that they dropped? I can't fully remember. What was the arbitration system? They offered a bonus pool for the top pre-arbitration players. So where they're Major League Baseball and the Players Association, they're still far apart when it comes to that. So, for example, what I'm trying to say is the Players Association, they want these younger players. For example, Corbin Burns. I made that example the other night. Corbin Burns, if he would have been in that sort of, if they had that bonus pool this past year for these pre-arbitration players, Corbin Burns would have made like $1 million more. Jonathan India would have made more money. The Players Association, they want these younger players that aren't even at arbitration yet. They want these guys to get paid. Like, they want these guys to make money. They don't just want these guys going into free agency to make money. They want these young guys getting paid. So the fact that Major League Baseball is okay with doing something like that, that's a big step. So, however, the difference is Major League Baseball, they're offering, I think they offered to do, I can't remember the number. Was it 15 million? 10 million? I can't remember. What was it? I think it was 10 million. What was the number again? I think it was around 10 million or like 15, something like that. But the Players Union, they want like 100 million, like 105 million. So they're pretty far apart in that. I wonder, can they meet somewhere in the middle? Can they get to maybe like 40 to 50 million? I think I could definitely see something like that. But I think they definitely are going to increase the minimum salary. That's going to happen. Depends on how much. I don't think that's going to be a big deal. So, and I was talking about some examples earlier. If you were to do this bonus pool for pre-arbitration players, taking a look, Corbin Burns, he would have, I think they said the percentage here. I think it was like a 300% increase for some of these guys. 200%. So if they were to do this bonus pool, Corbin Burns, he would have went from 608,000 to 2.34 million. All right. Vlad Jr., I mean, that's another big one right there. 635,400 to 1.8. And then again, Jonathan India, he won Rookie of the Year. Randy Rosarina would have made more money. So it's these guys where they're making these minimum salaries, but these guys are winning awards. Vlad Jr., obviously Shohei Ohtani won the MVP, but Vlad Jr., if Shohei Ohtani didn't do what he did this year, Vlad Jr. would have been the easy MVP pick. Corbin Burns, he was disgusting. He would have made more money. So I think the fact that the Players Association, they dropped their demand for free agency. Major League Baseball, they're okay with doing this bonus pool. I think it's just a matter of time. You know, and I think it's more about these two sides. They're just holding out at this point. And that's really what it is. They're just kind of seeing who's going to blink first, who's going to flinch. You know, I think at this point, I think they have a good idea of the framework of what it needs to be. I think it's just a matter of what is the dollar amount going to be for those certain things. So, but it's nice to see that these guys are letting their guards down a little bit. I like that. So you haven't really heard anything negative. I think you've had a couple of these writers out there. They've tried to make it sound negative because they want the ratings. They want the clicks. They want you to sign up for their subscriptions on ESPN and The Athletic. Yes, I'm talking to you, Jeff Passan, and Evan Drellich. But I will say they've been doing, bringing forth good information when it comes to that. I could just do without, they were heated conversations. No, they weren't. They probably were not heated at all. They were probably just sitting, of course, the negotiations. You're going to be a little tense. It's not like the way he made it sound like, they were heated. Like they were like yelling at each other or something. I don't think it really ever got to that point. Mr. BC donated $1.99. Better career when it ends, Verdugo or Devers? Ooh, I think Devers. I think Verdugo. I just think Devers is just built just to be a fantastic hitter. With Devers, the one thing with him, if he doesn't stay at third base, Rafael Devers to me that's a universal or that's a DH. He is someone, if you let him focus on his hitting, and if you kept on him to stay in shape, that's the one thing I actually do scare a little bit about with Rafael Devers. Does he keep himself in shape if he becomes a DH? I wonder if he packs on weight that way, because when you're playing third base out there, you gotta stay a little more in shape. I wonder if Devers, his glove is just not that great, but I think Devers ultimately, I think he ends up being the better hitter. I think Verdugo ends up having a pretty solid career overall. I don't think Verdugo is going to be a Hall of Fame kind of a guy. I think he could be like we were just looking at Johnson earlier. We were just looking at his stats at Lance Johnson. Could you see Verdugo maybe be this kind of a player? Finishes with a wins above replacement of 30.2. I think with Verdugo, Verdugo's very good. But is he going to be this amazing player at the end of the day? When all is said and done, he obviously has time. But when I look at Verdugo, I look at kind of an all-around, pretty solid player. He's going to give you an average. He's going to give you on base. His slugging was a little this year at 426. That needs to come up. He needs to get into the weight room. That dude, he's got to start putting some strength on. He was topping a lot of balls this year. It just felt like every time I watched Verdugo, it felt like he was grounding out a lot, So I think Verdugo, he definitely has a chance. As of right now on Baseball Reference, he has averaged he has a 7.3 WAR, so that's a 3.3 average. So if he ends up somehow doing that for 10 more seasons, I think he ends up maybe, it's funny because we were just looking at, this player, Lance Johnson. I could see Verdugo kind of finishing with this. 30 to 40 wins above replacement. That's just my thing. But I think Devers, that's a guy where, holy cow, Devers, that bat is just nasty. So, Mr. BC, good question. Simply Fog, $2 super chat. Cubs pick up Kwang Hyun Kim for their rotation. Did they? Did they sign him to a minor league deal? Well, they got Matt Dermody. Are you saying that for after the lockout? So they didn't sign him to a minor league deal, did they? No, so yeah. So you're saying for after the lockout. Yeah, sure. I think the Cubs, they just need some pitching. If I'm looking at the Cubs right now, the Cubs, I think the Cubs actually could be a pretty sneaky team. It depends. What do they do? Do they add someone like Correa? Hey, don't forget they got Clint Frazier. Oh, look at that. DH. Who's getting excited about the universal DH? I am. I'm definitely getting excited about that. Yeah, I could see someone like, Kwang Young Kim. I wonder if Seiya Suzuki, man. I think I predicted Suzuki to go to the Cubs on my awful free agent predictions. Hey, I said it. I said it in the beginning of the video. I was going to get all those wrong. So, hey, don't yell at me. But, so I wonder if Seiya Suzuki would be a nice fit for the Cubs. You got Rafael Ortega. Did pretty good last year. Was that his second year? He's been up and down. So he's with the, okay. Oh, wow. So he's gone up and down from the minor leagues multiple times. But he did pretty well this year. Over 103 games. He hit 291, 360 on base, 463 slugging. He did pretty well offensively. When you look at the negative 3.4 defense, I don't know. I don't think the Cubs end up getting Seiya Suzuki, because you got Clint Frazier. I think they want to take a chance with him. You could, if Clint Frazier, maybe you put him in the minor leagues, do something like, he's 27 though. I think you got to give this guy a chance. Well, they signed him to a major league deal, right? I think it was a major league deal. Yeah, it was a 1-year contract. So, could he end up, I don't know, does he have any options? How many options does he have? So he'll have one option. So, but I don't know. Seiya Suzuki would be pretty fun. I just don't know if he really fits. Ortega, when I look at his defense, could he be someone that could be a DH? Yeah. And then Ian Happ, I wonder what he ends up doing. It's honestly, it's this Jason Hayward contract that is just killing them. He was just so bad last year. I really want Jason Hayward to perform, but man, I don't know. But yeah, I could definitely see the Cubs adding some pitching. Oscar Cervantes, what is going on, my friend? Hello, $5 super chat. With Correa rumored potentially to LA, if they sign him and trade Trey to a team like Seattle for Hank. Oh my goodness. Whoa, Oscar, we're going crazy right now. Let's do it. Mark Graves, I agree. I think Seiya Suzuki would be awesome for the San Francisco Giants. I actually think the Giants, out of all the teams, I think they might be the best fit. I have to do a video on that. Who are the best fit? What teams are the best fit for Seiya Suzuki? Oscar, we got to do this crazy. Man, you're going nuts over here, man. I don't know if the Dodgers trade Trey Turner. I think they would love to get him extended. But let's do it. If they go get Correa, do you trade Turner? Maybe get some prospects back. Let's see. So, could you imagine Seattle would trade Turner? It'd be nuts. But let's do it. Whatever. We're having some fun. Here we go. Dodgers. Let's put Turner. What is his value? What is it, like 30? Something like that? Because he's going to be a free agent. I'm guessing it's not super, super high. Turner. Here we go. 44. Okay, so let's do it. I'm going to be honest with you, Oscar. I don't see this trade happening. I just don't. But it's fun to look at. It's fun. I just don't think the Mariners. No way. There's no way they give up Hancock. They just drafted Ford. This is fun. It's fun to think about. When it comes to the values, sure. But when it comes to the actual principle, when it comes to the thinking behind the trade, I don't see it. I think in the end, the Dodgers hang on to him. But, if you're looking at values, then, sure. It can make it work. Phillips. And Mako. Even this trade actually kind of falls short a little bit. This actually wouldn't pass. It would get approved. It would get approved. They're considering it a minor overpay. The Dodgers are getting quite a package here. But I don't know. I don't think this happens. I don't think so. I think the Dodgers, they seem like a team to me that would want to hang on to Trey Turner. I don't think, even though he will be a free agent, I kind of wonder would they rather hang on to Turner to improve their chances of winning a championship and just take a chance and see if they can sign him if they haven't signed him by that point when it comes to the offseason. That's what I think ends up happening. I don't know. I think you're a better team with Trey Turner, and yes, he is going to be a free agent, but I think at the end of the day, if you're trying to win a championship, you hang on to Trey Turner, and then you try to get him extended. I think that's the thing you should do, but I think you got to hang on to him. He's just going to make your team better. But Oscar Cervantes, those are my thoughts. Thank you so much, my friend. I appreciate the $5 super chat. 0989, what do you think of Jorge Soler going to the Brewers? I don't think so. I don't think so. Just because they got Hunter Renfroe. I mean, that's just a lot of right-handed power at that point. Do you need that much? I think he would have been a fun fit, but I think they saw that Renfroe was going to be cheaper. I'm sure if they got Renfroe, the fact that they got Renfroe, they probably gave Soler a call. I wonder if Soler ends up just going back with the Braves. You know, at this point. I thought maybe Soler would have been great for Miami, you know, but they ended up getting Aviseo Garcia. So I wonder if he ends up going back to the Braves. You know, he fit really well there. The fans really gravitated towards him. I think that'd be a nice fit. What do we got? What do we got here? Orioles, what's going on? What MLB team has drafted the best over the past 10 years? I mean, if you're looking at just how these minor league systems have come around, I mean, probably the Dodgers. The Dodgers, I mean, they've also done really well with international free agency. So I would say you got to look at some of these guys. But the Dodgers have also made moves in terms of trades. You know, the Dodgers have really done a lot. They've done well with international players. They have done well, I think, with the draft. They've just done well in all facets. Draft, international free agency, trades. You know, the Dodgers have just been a pretty well-run franchise. If I were to pull up here the board on Fangraphs, probably honestly, the Pirates. The Pirates have done really well. They've really been drafting extremely well. They've had a couple of good drafts. I like what the Pirates have been doing in the last couple of years. I think the Rays have been drafting well. I mean, any of these teams that have these higher draft picks, or these higher farm system rankings. I mean, really. I mean, I know that's kind of easy to say, but I've liked what I'm sorry to be biased, but I've liked what the Red Sox have done in the draft. You know, I mean, if you go back in the last 10 years, you know, the Red Sox have made some pretty good draft picks. So, but I think you got to look at these, you know, the Giants as well. They've made some pretty good draft picks too. So, I mean, Baltimore as well. Baltimore's been really, I mean, they're the number one farm system right now, according to Fangraphs. So, I think Pittsburgh, honestly, Pittsburgh's been phenomenal, but they've also done really well with their international free agent signings too. I think that is that's a pretty underrated thing, is the international free agency. Now, if you're looking at international free agency, White Sox, you're asking that too. If we're going to take a look. So I like Pipeline because I just like the layout. But if you're going, I don't know, the Giants, I think, have done pretty well with international guys. Marco Luciano, one of the top free agents. He was an international guy. Came out of Dominican Republic. Yeah, Dominican Republic. Luis Matos, Elliot Ramos. You know, the Giants, honestly, they've drafted really well. Joey Bart, that was one guy. Kyle Harrison, that's a pretty low-key guy that they picked up. Will Bednar, they just picked up. Patrick Bailey. You know, they've done pretty well. Seth Corey was a guy. You know, Sean Hagel. So, if you look at the Dodgers, when it comes to international free agency, I believe the Dodgers have done pretty well. If you take a look, you know, Diego Cartaya, that's one guy. International guy out of Venezuela. But look at also these other guys too with the Dodgers. Ryan Pepio, Michael Bush, Bobby Miller, Andy Pages was, I believe, that was an international guy too. They trade, I think. No, they didn't trade for him. Okay, no, they signed him out of Cuba. The Dodgers have done extremely well. Miguel Vargas, that was the guy they signed. I mean, look at these prospects. You know, they've done really well with the draft, but they've also gotten some pretty good guys as well internationally. And the Orioles, like I said, you know, the Mariners have drafted well. You know, the Tigers have drafted well. I mean, look at the Tigers. Look at what they've been doing. You know, they did get the number 1 pick with Spencer Torkelson, but they've drafted great. You know, I think a lot of these teams have done great. The Rangers have been drafting pretty well. I mean, I know they just got Jack Leiter, but they've made some pretty decent pickups over the last couple of years. Diamondbacks, they got a low-key, pretty good farm system. They're 4th overall. So, overall, yeah, but then also I saw you said the White Sox. I mean, if you look at the White Sox, they got a couple of international guys too. I mean, Yoelqui Cespedes is a guy. But to actually take a look at some of these guys, a lot of these guys are, you know, USA guys that they've had in the draft. You know, Colson Montgomery was the guy recently. I really like the Wes Kath pickup. Jake Berger was another guy. Jared Kelly, one of the top pitchers from the 2020 draft. Matthew Thompson, he was drafted 2nd round. Norge Vera, they actually just signed him last year out of Cuba. So, I mean, yeah, they've definitely had some guys too. Yoelqui Cespedes is probably the most notable. So, definitely excited to see what he could end up doing. And Luis Robert, sorry. But yeah, really liking, you know, that's a big part, man. It's not just the draft, it's international. I would love if they had an international draft. I think that would be fantastic. Make these draft picks, you know, instead of just signing them. I think that would be extremely exciting. I would love that. Oscar Colas too. They just got him. Oscar, was wondering if you're ever going to go over Baseball America's Top 100 they released. So Oscar, I did. I believe I went over it. Did I? I think I was looking at Baseball America as well. I don't know if I did. I'd have to go back and look. I did look over the updated pipeline rankings. I don't remember if I was looking at Baseball America or not while I was looking at that. I don't know. I'd have to go back and look. If I haven't, then yeah, sure. That would be a pretty fun one. Logan Jones, Freddie Freeman to the Dodgers. I mean, it makes a lot of sense. You lost Corey Seager. Go get another left-handed bat. Do they want to keep signing these guys, though? That's what I just wonder. I think Freddie Freeman, I think he's a guy. You know, that would be cool if he could end his career with the Dodgers. So, that'd be cool. What else we got? I'll take a couple of more, everyone, then I'm going to start getting out of here. Mr. Switch, do you think Marcelo Mayer was a good draft pick for the Red Sox? Yeah, I mean, I think you just have to wait and see with Marcelo Mayer. Obviously, there's a ton of potential. You know, scouts think his hitting is already, very good. Obviously, like you look at the hit tool, 60 hit tool, 55 power already. They said he just had just such a good understanding of just the strike zone in general. Just already has great mechanics, and they see him. He's 6'3". He can definitely add some more size. So I think Marcelo Mayer, man, look out. I think that's a guy, really, I definitely think he can end up being really good. AK Vlog says 33 likes. Everyone, please hit that like button. Let's get to 50. Let's get to 50 likes. We got 82 people in the chat. I appreciate you all stopping by tonight. Just a quick Q&A for tonight. Nothing crazy. Just figured I'd come on and say hello. Yes, Ronnie Mauricio for the Mets. Absolutely. Yeah. Taking a look here. Yeah, I mean, he was a guy. Where was he out of? Was he out of Dominican Republic? Yeah. So that's another one as well. That's another one. So, what would be a possible lineup using MLB players to play at Coors? I want all of the. I know it's kind of probably a cheap, easy answer, but I want all the power guys. Give me all the low batting average guys that can just hit tanks. Kyle Schwarber. You know, let's just pull up the home run leaders from last year. Let's actually, I'm actually interested in this. Obviously, I know you had Shohei Ohtani and Vlad. You know, like, I mean, Joey Gallo in Coors. Come on, give it to me. Give it to me. You know, Mike Zunino. That's a guy. When he gets into one, it just goes a mile. Austin Riley would be really fun. I'm looking at who are these low batting average guys. Kyle Seager, if he didn't retire. You know, that could have been a fun fit for Colorado. Kyle Schwarber. Makes a lot of sense. You know, I think Javier Baez would have been pretty fun. They weren't going to, but I thought that would have been a pretty fun fit. You know, losing Trevor Story, you know, go get Javier Baez. Why not? Honestly, I really like CJ Cron. I like CJ Cron. I think he fits really well there. So that's a guy, I think he's pretty underrated. Eduardo Escobar, I thought would have been really fun. You know? So, but yeah. I want all the power for the Colorado Rockies. Yeah, Pete Alonso, Matt. Pete Alonso, that's another one. But I like CJ Cron. But if you got the universal DH, I'm okay with that. Who will be the first big name to sign after the lockout? I think Seiya Suzuki. That's going to be, I think, the first guy. I think to me, you're not looking with Seiya Suzuki. He has all this time to think. You know, it's really, he basically just needs to make his choice at this point. He knows what kind of money he's going to get, but he's not going to be getting money like Carlos Correa or Freddie Freeman. I could see Freddie Freeman, Carlos Correa, maybe give them a week or two after the lockout. I could see that. I think with Correa, you know, at this point with Correa, you know, if he ends up getting to spring training late, you know, so be it. That's why I just wonder. I wonder if Correa just goes back to Houston. I really do. You know, I really do. If he maybe goes back to Houston on a one-year deal or something like that. I think it's more likely you're going to see him sign a long-term deal. That's what I think personally. But yeah, that's my pick for the first guy to come off the board after the lockout. I would say Seiya Suzuki. A signing that makes sense and nobody talks about is Chris Bryant to the Astros. Makes some sense. It makes some sense. He's versatile. He could easily play third. You know, could you move Bregman over to short? Sure. Absolutely. I think it makes sense. You know, will it happen? I don't know. Will it happen? I don't know. Michael, what's happening with the lockout? My prediction, I think, Michael, is it's going to end in the next month. They're seeing eye to eye on things. Demands are being dropped. I think eventually, I think it's just about money at this point. And, you know, when it comes to money, you go inch by inch when it comes to agreeing on a money figure. And I think when it comes to a big deal like this, you know, a CBA for the next 10 years, I think that's something where, you know, it's going to move slower than, you know, a free agent, going in trying to decide what team to sign with, or teams going back and forth on offers for these free agents, you know, going into bidding wars. I think it's going to be slower than something like that. But I think I'd say over the next month. I don't think it goes by. I don't think it goes into March. That's my pick. I just don't. I thought like my hopeful self thought the lockout would be over end of January. Well, and we're basically there at this point. But I'm going to stay optimistic. I'm going to say middle of February. So, John, what's going on, man? How's my night going? We're doing all right, my friend. We're doing all right. We're just hanging out. You know, I popped open a ginger ale. Oh, that's better. But yeah, night's going well, man. I'm going to get out of here soon. I'll probably stay for another 5 more minutes. Oscar, I think Correa has kind of trapped himself because there aren't enough teams that would be built. Yeah, that's a big thing with Correa. That's why I'm wondering. I think a team might come out of nowhere for him. I'm a Bryson Stott fan, but I wonder, do the Phillies? Probably not. But Could you see a surprise team like that? Or does he end up just going back to the Astros? I could see that too. So, yeah, Matt, I agree, man. Honestly, if they announced the lockout was coming to an end, like right now, I'd probably jump out of my chair. I would just go crazy. Logan Jones, when MLB The Show comes out, are you doing more videos on that? I'm working on one right now. I just haven't gotten myself to just go finish it. I don't know what it is, like my attention span when it comes to MLB The Show. I just can't stay focused on it. I don't know what it is, and I can't get myself to go do it. I got that PS5 to, work on some rebuilds. I did 2 rebuilds, and I don't know what it is. Like, I just can't get myself to just sit down and just do it. So, I would like to, though. I would like to. What are your thoughts on Tristan Casas? I think Casas is going to be awesome. I think he just has a good head on his shoulders. That to me, character is a big thing. And I think Tristan Casas, he's a really humble guy, and he knows, he works really hard. That's one thing with Tristan Casas. That's one thing I've always read about him is he's always finding something to work on. That to me is a guy that sets himself up for success. So, John, I got a job as a Bang Energy delivery guy. Oh my goodness. Set to travel to Florida. Man, if I'm by the gym, I might need, 1 or 2 of those, not gonna lie. Dodger Blue made an article about the Nats possibly interfering with Carlos Correa and possibly, maybe, the Nationals, that's another sneaky team. I wonder, do the Nationals, they didn't want to give Bryce Harper the money. That's what I'm wondering. I wonder, would the Nationals do it? They didn't give Bryce Harper that money, so why would they give it to Correa? That's like the same thing. Why would the Red Sox give a big contract to someone like Correa when they wouldn't even give that money to Mookie Betts? So, I don't know, man. I don't know. Crimson Chinny Chin Chins. I love that name and that avatar, my friend. Good old Crimson Chin. A week or 2. I feel like everything is getting done in a week after the lockout ends. I mean, it's going to move. It's going to move. I just think logistically, you're kind of working against time. Yes, I think a lot will happen once the gates are lifted. I definitely think you're going to see a ton happen. I just think logistically, probably you're going to see maybe, stuff happen over, a week, 2 weeks, even 3. Some stuff, sometimes you're just kind of playing against time, Yeah, Logan Jones, I don't know. I don't really see the Nationals going after someone like Correa. But then again, I don't know. Do they have a long-term option? Do they have someone? They got Brady House. So he's far away. He's 18. But you got Armando Cruz, but he's very far away too. So I think they just signed him. Didn't they just sign him? I thought. They also just got, what's his face? I am super excited about this. To me, I like Roderick Arias, but oh my. Go watch video on Christian Vaquero. Dude, they just got this guy. This guy is insane. Go watch him. To me, he was number 1. I like Roderick Arias, but Christian Vaquero, man, that guy was just nuts. Just watching some of his video. Ooh. What else we got? I'll take one more here. One more. Do you see Trevor Bauer pitching again this season? I think that's a good question to end things here. Trevor Bauer. I've been on the record and I've said this multiple times. I think what I've been saying is I think you're going to see him. But you know what? The one thing I wasn't really thinking about so much was Major League Baseball. What are they going to do? That's the kind of the one thing I wasn't really thinking about too much. I wondered with Trevor Bauer, I figured I don't think that case is going to go anywhere. I just don't. The fact that he's on social media and stuff again, that kind of tells me there's probably something where it's going to work out, for him. maybe there could be some kind of a settlement or something like that. I don't think it's going to go really very far. Supposedly there's, evidence that works in Bauer's favor in terms of that investigation. But then Major League Baseball, what do you do with Major League Baseball? What are they going to do? I could definitely see them suspending him, but are they going to make it retroactive to last year? He missed a lot of time last year. Could they do a year suspension, but retroactive to last year? And then you end up seeing him maybe in the second half of the season? I don't know. I just think at this point, let's just say this right now. If the Dodgers, let's say he's able to play, this most likely won't happen, but let's say he is eligible to just play the whole year. The Dodgers are not going to have him sit at home collecting paychecks. That's not going to happen. You're paying a guy $35 million to sit at home. I don't care whose feelings are getting hurt or whatever. I'm sorry. I'm not paying a guy $35 million. If he's cleared to play and he's eligible to play, I'm sorry. I'm not paying you $35 mil to sit at home. That's not happening. No way. To me, you're pitching. Whatever. All right, you got cleared. You didn't handle things very well. You were kind of a dummy, but whatever. You're coming on the mound. At that point, it's just such a no-brainer business decision. Yeah, sure. People are going to be, some people are going to be up in air or arms up in air about it, but they're going to be kind of annoyed. Some people would be annoyed about that. But at that point, come on. You're not paying $35 million to a guy to sit at home. You're just not. I think realistically what ends up happening, I think he ends up getting cleared from, this investigation. I think it ends up being tossed out or some kind of a settlement or something. And I think Major League Baseball, they'll put down a suspension on him. And I think you end up seeing him. My prediction, if he does get suspended, I'll say, I'll say they give him a year suspension going back to last year. And then you end up seeing him by the All-Star break. So that's my personal opinion. But again, I've seen some people commenting on some of my stuff saying, the Dodgers, they don't want him around. I'm sorry, but again, I'm not paying someone that much money to just not be around. No way. That much? That's just not smart financially. When he can pitch for you and he can pitch at a high level for you, at that point, feelings are kind of out the window at that point. Now if you're paying him maybe a couple million, well, that's a different story. For the Dodgers, that would be chump change. But 35? Okay, no, that's not happening. So, everyone, I'm going to get out of here. I'm done. I'm done with the Q&A for tonight. I want to thank you for stopping by tonight. I think we went for a little over an hour tonight. So, thank you so much. I appreciate you all. I appreciate all the super chats tonight. You guys are awesome for dropping some super chats for me and all the questions. Hey, good questions tonight. I'm going to try and post something. I'm hoping to get it posted tomorrow morning. If not tomorrow morning, look out for it tomorrow evening at some point. And if I don't get to it tomorrow, look out for it maybe Sunday. I would like to have it posted by tomorrow. Not going to be a long video by any means, but hey, another successful Q&A night. I think we got to around 90 people in the chat tonight, so I appreciate you all stopping by on this Thursday night. Have yourself a good rest of your night. Have a good day tomorrow, and I'll talk to you next time.